Okay, so here, just to draw the distinction I mentioned at the end between the r of t function, which is a position function, and your s of t function, which is a distance along the path function. Let's just say here we are in 3 dimensions. Here's r of a. Okay, this vector represents r of a. This point is the point defined by that vector. And here's r of b. And we have some path that's followed as t goes from a to b. Okay? Some path in 3-dimensional space, any old path. The distance we travel is the average value of our speed on the interval multiplied by I've got dt, could be change in time. Okay? Average value of absolute value v of t on the interval multiplied by delta t, and that's our, not ds, it's our delta s. And that's a change in distance along the path. Whereas the change in the r function from r equals a to r equals b is just this vector. This vector is change in the r vector. Okay? So this is your displacement. This is a displacement from this point to this point. And of course we could take its magnitude and get the distance from this point to this point. But if our path isn't a straight line from here to there, that's not going to equal how far we actually traveled getting from here to here. That's our delta s. Our s of b minus s of a. Write that down, delta s equals s of b minus s of a. And that means how far did we travel along the path from t equals 0 to t equals b minus how far we traveled from t equals 0 to t equals a. Now in general, your r function might be defined on an interval much bigger than the interval from a to b. So you started at some point, you did something along this dotted line, and then when t equals a, you're here. You got here. Okay? And then you follow the path, and when t equals b, you got here. Okay, your s of t function is how far you moved from the t equals 0. That might be here. So how far you moved in getting from here to here. S of a would be how far you go getting from here to here. S of b would be how far you travel along all this if you go from here all the way to here. The difference of those two is how far you traveled between t equals a, t equals b, and it's calculated by this integral, which is actually a fairly simple expression. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy to integrate. Okay, well, we'll look at a simple example.